All right. Okay. So I hope you are able to somehow finish the rest of the models. Okay. So the last piece that is remaining in our lineup is the knight. Okay. But I kind of not like, okay, I do not like this particular design. So I would change this with something else. Okay. So let me just select my ref image, hide it. Okay. Then I'm going to add a new one. So Shift A, then add a reference. Okay. Then in our Google Classroom, for those who just came in, please get the image from our Google Classroom. So download this image. We'll be using this as our reference for creating the knight. Okay. So Shift A, reference, then so for the knight. Okay. See if it loads. Okay, now it's not loading. Now, if you encounter a similar problem with references not being able to load, or somehow it's kind of hard for the image to read, because probably it's a different file format. So what you would need to do is open it on Paint and save it on a different file format. Okay, so let me just find it. Where the heck is it? Okay, so it's supposed to be this, but I can't seem to see it also. So I'll open it on Paint. Oh, crap. Okay, let me download it. Just find it again. So this on a new tab, download it. Okay. Okay. I don't know what went wrong with this. Somehow, Paint can't read it, and also Blender can't read it. So, let me see. Drag it. Oh, yeah. They can't read it. Wait, let me just try and open it on Photopea. File open. Okay. Let me just select subject. Ayaw niya magpa-select. Anyway, I'll export it as a different file format. Hopefully, okay. I will change this because it somehow can't be read by Paint or by Windows. So I would have to change it. Okay. So usually you have to like convert it into different file format until you could actually see it. Okay. So delete the old file, tapos get this new one. Okay. So if you compare the two files, this one I can read, the other I can't. Okay. So it somehow is not readable. So I'll just delete the older one, the older file, then just put it back here. Okay. I can actually just drag and drop this in Blender. You see it? Okay. I drop and drag it on orthographic view, which is the side view. So I could, adjust it somehow. It needs to be of the same size as the others. I'll put it back somehow. Okay. So I'll disable the selectable so that I will not be able to select it anymore. Okay. So the process that we're going to do here is polymodeling and sculpting. So it would be a combination of two techniques. Okay. So let's just go over some of the tools in sculpting. Okay. Let me see if someone is joining. Okay. Previously, what we have been doing is polygonal modeling or edge modeling. So hopefully with more complex models, we'll be able to use sculpting as an approach to modeling. Okay. So in our modes, we have, let me just add a, wait, somebody wants to join. Okay. Right. So we'll be using the sculpting mode. So let's add a, instead of adding a UV sphere like this, okay, and there's an iconosphere like so. Okay, wait, let me add it again. So the iconosphere has triangles instead of polygons, quads like this on the left. We need to add more subdivisions to this in order for us to be able to sculpt this, because if not, we'll not be able to push the vertices around without, you know, we need to have a lot of vertices to move around in order for us to sculpt something. Okay, so this one has like 6 subdivisions. So once you add the iconosphere, so add your iconosphere, find the add iconosphere tab, set the subdivision to 5 or 6. 6 is quite a lot, so let's just have it on 5. Okay, so if you compare, let's say for example, this, which when we subdivide it gets to have a lot of, let's say, segmentation. So right, so when you have these two shapes and let's say a cube for sculpting, okay, right, so this cube only has how many vertices? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, bali 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, only have 8 vertices. Okay, so if I select, let's say, the cube, then let's say object mode, then go to sculpt mode. Okay, so when you go to sculpt mode, our tab changes. So let me just join the arrows on the side. So on this tab, I have different tools. In order for me to be able to read through the names of the tools, I'll hover my mouse and drag it like this so that you could actually see the names. Okay, so hover your mouse, then drag. So each of these tools are used to manipulate the mesh. Okay, so one, we have a draw. So as you can see, it doesn't really happen, or there's nothing happening on the cube. Okay, in order for me to transfer to another model, okay, I need to use a shortcut key. Okay, so let's say, let me see, new, okay, okay. So to edit another mesh, what we need to press is Alt Q. Okay, so what I'm selecting now is the cube. So in order for me to transfer to another mesh, I have to press, okay, Alt then Q. So Alt Q, you see how it highlights and changes. Okay, so Alt Q, Alt Q, Alt Q, hover your mouse, then Alt Q. Okay, so there isn't much to do with the polygon. So let's say if I use the grab tool, I can't grab anything, right? Because I only have very few polygons, and I can't even draw anything because the polygons is only 8, right? So I would have to like add a subdivision to this in order for me to add resolution to this. So in modifier, I go to subdivision, okay, and I add more to this, okay. Then I have to apply it, okay, in order for me to be able to use the draw, okay, and the, let's say, the grab tool, the shift, okay, because I have now a lot of vertices. So do you see that facets, right? So here on the sphere, I can actually do a lot of movement and sculpting here, okay, as you can see, because we have a lot of vertices. But the problem here that I have is this triangle on top, okay. That's why it will be better to use a iconosphere or a cube with subdivision, okay. So either way, using this sphere is kind of really bad. What would be nice is the iconosphere or the subdivided cube. Okay, so let me just transfer here. Let's look into the different tools in sculpting. Okay, so we have here the draw brush, which is this one. Okay, so draw, that is draw. If you want to make the size of the brush smaller, okay, so the brush size, okay, press F, okay. So when you press F, so F, then slide side to side. That's a brush size, okay. So if you make it smaller like this, okay, so that's the brush size, okay. Then if you want to have, let's say, brush strength, so brush strength would be Shift F, okay. Shift F. So F would be the size, Shift F would be the strength, and you slide it side to side, okay. So 0 to 1. 1 is the strongest. Do you see that? Okay, so Shift F. Okay, so we have our smaller effect. Okay, now to smooth this out, we have to press Shift. Okay, so smooth brush. The smooth is Shift. We have to hold Shift. Okay? Hold shift. Okay? So F to make it smaller. So you have the draw brush. So it actually draws. Okay? Then when you press control, it actually digs into your model. Okay? So that is control. Okay? So the normal is like this. When you hold control, it actually digs into your model. Right? So draw sharp, when you use this, it actually is much sharper compared to the rounded draw. Okay, so this is draw sharp. And by default, draw sharp is actually in a negative like this. Okay, so you can also look at this negative and positive. This one, negative and positive. Okay, just hold control to reverse the direction. Okay, so control without control. Okay, without pressing control. Right? So something like that. Then you have clay. So clay actually is supposed to add more. Um, like it's going to add on top of the model. Okay, somehow it's not. Okay. The clay brush is supposed to be adding on top. It actually adds. Let me just adjust the strength para you can see it. Yeah, there you go. So that's how clay looks like. Clay strips is a bit stronger, very edgy, like that. Clay thumb, F. Actually, clay thumb is like pinching. So you're pinching the model, something like that. Okay, we don't use it a lot. Layers is like layering your mesh on top. Inflate. Yeah. So inflate by its name is making something like enlarged. Like it's round, tapos parang ganyan. So something like this. So that's inflate. A blob is much stronger than an inflate. A crease is actually to add sharpness on corners. So it's like a draw brush, a draw sharp, but it's actually much smaller and tighter. Then when you have the smooth brush or F, it actually smoothens your mesh. Okay? Flatten, just flattens the model on top. If you look at this, kung anong direction. Fill, kind of adds on the gap. Kung buta siya, then add more. Scrape is to cut through, if ever, or nagbabawas siya ng konti. A multi-plane scrape is like pinching. Very similar to pinch. Tapos grab is grabbing like this. Elastic deform is much stronger than a grab. There are times na mas okay yung elastic grab kesa sa um, snake as a grab. Okay? Tapos yung isa is snake hook. Okay? So, like that. Okay? Yung thumb naman, parang pinupush niya lang siya. Parang pinipinch ng ano. Okay? So, something like that. I want you to try first the tools. Okay? So, I want you to try the sculpting tools. I'll give you like 15 minutes. Okay? The rest here are quite medyo ano siya, complicated. Then later I'll discuss yung masking. Okay, yung mask, yung not overwhelming. So let's just use the tools muna. Okay, I want you to try the tools and like just manipulate the mesh. Okay? I'll give you at least mga ano, kahit mga 10 minutes just to play around with the tools. Okay? Wait lang ah. Right, I'll type the shortcut. Grab, usually there's a few lang na shortcuts for the tools. So G is grab. D is for draw. Usually ito yung gamit na gamit eh. The rest you have to like create your own special shortcut if you want to. Clay is C. Layer. L is for layer. Di ba masyadong ginagamit. I is for inflate. Inflate. Okay. Blob is spacebar 4. Pero hindi naman masyado. Shift C for crease. Okay. Shift C for crease. Okay. Flatten, Shift T to flatten, fill. Scrape is spacebar 6, spacebar 7, pinch is P. Okay. These are the common tools. Okay, so pinch. Okay. Deform. Snake hook is K. So K is snake hook. Pose, nudge. Nudge is like moving a certain part. May parang itutulak ka, parang ganun. Okay. Rotate is, yan, iikot mo siya. You're going to rotate something. So, shift to cloth, simplify, mask. Masks are really important. So, let's see. Let's say grab. Okay. 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 So when you use mask, so when you press mask, tapos F, then you draw something like this. Okay. So let's say for example, you want to cut a mouth onto the model. So let's say you want to use this to cut through the mouth. Okay. So you draw a mask. Control I to invert. Okay. Then what you can do now here is draw in. So you could draw inside, but it's not affecting the others because naka-mask siya. Okay. So you can shift, you can draw like that. So if you're going to draw in, of course, if you're using a pen tablet, it would be much better because pen tablets have pressure sensitivity, right? So something like this. So it cuts through. Then to remove the mask, okay, removing the mask would be, so that's invert mask is Control I. Clear mask is Alt W, Alt M. Okay, so Control I, let's wait. Control I is invert mask. Alt M is clear mask. Okay? So ito yung these are tools that are very very important when you're working with sculpting. Okay? So something like that. Okay? So let's say draw sharp, we draw sharp here. We want to sharpen this or pinch this. So let's say ipipinch mo siya. Same pinch. Pinch. This one's pinch. Ayan. You want to sharpen it. So ipipinch mo siya. But as you can see, the vertices are very, very few. So it's kind of really hard to add more details to this kasi very limited yung ating polygon, right? So we could actually adjust this. this to turn it into a mouth. Okay, like that. Then if you want to, let's say, add a nose, so here I'm going to the side, F, drag it, drag this, okay, and drag. Okay, as you can see, like, patapangit, right? So this is because of the poly count, okay? Okay. Then you can use your draw to, let's say, draw in, say, this area for the eye, okay? Like so, okay? Right? So to add like resolution to this, you need to go to options, remesh pala. You go to remesh, okay? Then we need to adjust the voxel size to something smaller, okay? Tapos we're going to remesh it, okay? So when you press R, oops, Control R, is it Shift R? Shift R, okay? So when you press Shift R and slide your mouse side to side, you can see the resolution of the mesh. So 0.08 is kind of big, okay? So you could actually use like 6, 0.06, click it. Then in order for you to apply the remesh, you have to press remesh or Control R, okay? So Control R is to remesh, or click this, okay, or adjust the voxel size, okay? So as you can see now, the poly count, the vertices are distributed, and somehow it still is blocky, okay? So it actually is fine because the mesh naman is very blocky pa rin naman, because if you're going to add details to this, you need to like make the silhouette first before adding in more details. If you want to make it finer, then you can adjust the voxel size to something like let's say Shift R, like this, 0.04, Control R, and when you smear it out, somehow it becomes a bit smoother, okay, in detail, right? So you could now start grabbing in, let's say, more verts, or draw certain parts, okay? Cut through the nose, okay? Now, if you're wondering, is there a symmetry to this? Ito yung symmetry niya. So you have X symmetry, Y, Z symmetry, okay? But since the object is irregular, so the problem here is it's not going to be symmetrical, okay? So if it's not symmetrical, we have to like symmetrize the model, okay? So there's a way to symmetrize this. So let's go, let's say here, where's the symmetry? Tools. So when you go to tools, you go to symmetry and symmetrize. If you want to get the positive X transferred to the negative X, so we have to change this from negative X to positive X. So it needs to be positive X to negative X and symmetrize. Little weird thing. Okay, so it's kind of weird because the center of the object is somewhere around here. So let me just rotate this on, let's say, let me see if I can RX. No. I'll turn off the symmetry. So RZ. Okay? Then R, para makakuha lang ako ng tamang symmetry. Okay? Then symmetrize. We just adjust it. Okay? Andun naman yung center niya. So A, adjust somewhere around here. Symmetrize. Okay? Positive X to negative X. Okay? So, pwede na to. Then you can clean up the sharps. So, could just use the smooth brush to fix this. Then you can use the grab brush to, and turn on the symmetry, of course, to adjust the shape. Okay? So if you want to make something inflated, so inflate this. Okay? Then Control R para mawala yung triangles or something like that. Okay? Then you use the draw. Okay? Just play around with the tools. Let's have a bridge somewhere around here. Then a laugh line somewhere around here. Okay. Tapos, using the clay strip somehow to add musculature in this part. Then some sort of chin here. Okay. Smooth it out a bit. Okay. Like this is like some sort of an old person. Okay. So G to grab, then pull. Okay. Start pulling the nose, then draw. Let's say F. Dig into the nose. Draw the side of the nose, then the tip of the nose. Smooth it out a bit. Oops. Okay. So something like that. Okay, so cut here. We need to cut through here. Okay. Adjust the strength if ever it's too strong. Okay. Thing around here. Can draw the brow, I think. So just play around the tool para at least, you know, ma-experience nyo siya kung paano gamitin. So, using the grab brush, so grab. And actually, this is actually more intuitive than modeling kasi you're just playing around with the mesh. So you just keep on moving stuff. We need a stronger brow area. Something like this. So we just use the clay brush to add some sort of texture onto the model. Okay. To So something like that. Okay? So you can experiment on so many things with using the sculpting tool. Okay? Don't be afraid to commit mistake because you could just smooth it out. Mas smooth naman din siya. Agad. Okay? So, let me see. If I can go to edit mode. No, not edit. Let me add a UV sphere. Rotate on X 90 degrees. Then add a mirror modifier. So click the mirror modifier, click the eyedrop, and make the face the center. Okay. Then select on the face, then sculpt. So we need to use the elastic deform to actually push the mesh. Okay, use the grab tool. We need to have like the eye kasi we need to have some sort of like that eyelid. Then you can draw sharp. Para magkaroon siya ng eye bug. Ganyan. Pero pag ganito, you just need to keep on blocking the shape. Okay, so pull this out. Alt Q, select the, okay, tapos bring it out. Shade smooth. Ayan, parang ganyan. Okay. Then we just have to add a separate mesh for the teeth and other parts. So, parang ganun. Okay. So, let's just sculpting. Like, sculpting really takes a lot of time also. It's like drawing also. Okay. But usually, a student who really draws well usually don't have a problem with sculpting kasi yung drawing skills nila are really good. So, pagdating sa sculpting, parang hindi na siya, hindi mahirap sa kanila ang sculpting. Okay? Okay? So, yun. Just play around with the tools. Okay? Tapos, shade smooth, shade flat para you could see it. Pero as you can see, ano pa rin siya. Low poly pa rin siya. Okay? The poly count, the resolution is really small. Okay? So, I'm going to select this and put it on a group. So, say M. Then, I'll just make it as a head. Okay? If you've sculpted something, just save it. Tapos, sama nyo sa screenshot later. Okay? Para makita ko. It doesn't matter kung ano yun. Basta importante na try nyo yung tool. I wanna see that you have tried using the tool. Okay? So, there you go. So I'm going to start with the knight. Okay. Okay. So from here, we're going to build the shape of our horse. Okay. So I'm going to click on my cursor, shift click here. So click and click na lang. So click, select box, shift A, add a cube, then make it smaller, just press S. Okay. Then Alt Z for X-ray. So what we're going to do is going to like follow the shape of this horse. So Control R. We'll start first with its mouth. Okay. So let's start adjusting the shape. Okay. Like so. I think I need to add a subdivision surface to this. So add a modifier, subdivision. Okay. So I'm selecting actually faces here. Let me just okay, wait. Let me bring this to the center. Okay, adjust ko lang. All right. So ito yung faces, right? Okay. Let me turn this to 3D port, viewport, so I could see the 3D viewport. Okay, workspace. All right. Okay, so from here, I need to follow the shape or the contour of the horse. So the contour of the horse will be something like this. Okay, so here, tapos here, this one, this one, this one, and this one, and this one. So I have to cut here, here, tapos cut here, somewhere around here. Let me undo that. Okay. So say D to erase. Tapos here. Tapos dito. Dito. And somewhere around here. Then go here and here. Okay. So I need to follow that shape first. Okay. So from the selection of the face here, so I'm going to extrude somewhere around here. Okay. Then vertex. Okay. I have my subdivision turned on so that I could actually see the smooth form. Okay. So somewhere around here. Okay. I'm going to select the verts. So from here and here, extrude again and bring it somewhere around here. Then move it up. I'm not scaling. I'm actually moving. Okay. I'm moving my vertices. So select all again. Tapos face. So grab. So move. I try to move it somewhere around here. Then move this vertex down somewhere around here. Okay. Okay. So select the vertices again. So this this vertex and this vertex. So extrude again. Then bring this vertex somewhere around here. Then bring this one somewhere around here. Okay. Select it again. Then G somewhere around here and bring it somewhere around here. So if you would notice, if I turn on my subdivision surface, it somehow is following the shape, right? Okay, but the problem here is when I add the subdivision, it kind of makes the shape smaller. Okay, so what I will do here is try to push the shape, the vertex in here to follow the shape. Okay, so I need to have the shape forced to follow. Okay, so I might be going out of the contour, so I need to push and pull the shape so that I could actually control and somehow shape the object. Okay, so hold shift for both, then extrude again somewhere around here, then pull it out, then pull it out also here. So shift, so E ulit, then somewhere around here, then make it rounder like so. We need to follow the shape of the head somehow. This, okay, pull it out. This one is, yeah, okay, so pull this out, then bring this in. Okay, now if you check the shape, let me just hide this. Okay, if we look at the shape of the horse, does it look like this? So what's the shape of the horse? The horse's head. Okay, so usually a horse's head would be like this. This is stylized, so it's kind of a bit exaggerated. Okay, so a cartoon horse would be like this. That's why you need to have a lot of references when you're working. Okay, so the shape of the head is kind of like a what my colleagues call in their drawing class. They actually call the head of a horse like a coffin. They actually see the head of a horse as a coffin case, like this. This is how they see it. Okay, they call it a coffin head. Okay, so the shape that we have for our horse is not coffin shape, right? So the head is kind of odd. Okay, the shape of the head is very odd because it's very straight. Okay, so what we need to do now here, okay, is to start pulling. So alt, okay, so alt click. So we need to start pulling. So I'm going to scale on the side. Alt click here, pull on the side. In order for us to be able to have the coffin head shape that I've been talking about, then click here, then make it smaller here, then thinner, right? Something like that. Okay, so we have that particular shape. Okay, so as you can see, somehow the reference that we actually have here, it shifts from here, the shape goes from here to here. Okay, so I need to somehow pull this shape somewhere around here. This too, something wider, right? This aside. Okay. I was thinking of how am I supposed to like select the faces para dito sa leeg nung horse, right? So like that. I'm thinking of like selecting this part and bring it in. Okay. So let me just see if I could somehow if I, let's say, extrude along normals and do this. Okay, so extrude along normals. Then on vertex, I need to grab this to follow the shape of the horse. I would probably like make adjustments now because of the additional polygons that we have. Okay, so from here, Then this I could somehow pull out. Okay. And this one I need to pull somewhere around here. Okay. Bring this down like so. I have a problem somewhere around here. So I need to pull this somewhere around here. Okay. So there's a turn in the shape somehow. Okay. Kasi I need to somehow be able to add subdivisions to this like this. Okay. So I have to turn the shape like this so that I could select this base and extrude down. Okay. I could like pull it somewhere here. Okay. Then bring it somewhere around here, bring it somewhere around here. Then add one in the middle, then bring it out, then bring it in on the shape, add another one here, then pull it out, okay? Then move it down to somehow control the shape. Control R here. Then let's bring this out, and this one. Let's bring this in, okay? Like that, and this one somewhere around like this, okay? Okay, now when we look at the shape of the neck of the horse, it's sort of like the shape is like a triangle. Okay, so the back of the horse's neck has this narrow part, then it goes like this and this. So we have to also copy that into our model. As you can see here, the head actually goes like that. See, it actually is pushed out because of the chin. So we have to do that also in our model. Okay. So we have to analyze our topology. Okay. So let me just hide this also. Okay. So it needs to be broad in the bottom and somehow triangular going to the top. So we're going to scale it out. So bring this, so select this, scale it out. We just go to the other side. Okay. We just hide this. So scale. Then select this. Then select this. Okay. So alt click. So I'll click this. Then make it smaller. Then this to make it smaller. So shift click this to make it smaller. Okay. This side also, on this side, make it smaller also. Okay. Then on the side, I think I need to bring this, oh no, I need to bring this up a bit. Okay. So when we look at our model, so there's this narrower. Okay. So the neck is a bit narrow. So the top of the head also needs to be a bit narrow. Oops. So which one is it? So this one. Where the heck did it come from? Okay, so this one is I need to delete. I don't know where that came from. So here, make it smaller. So this and this needs to be going out to make it bigger. Okay. So when we have something like this, we have to make a copy. So Shift D to make a copy. So label also your files. Okay. When you're working, make sure to always label your files. Okay. So this one is a night. Okay. So that you could find whatever you're looking for. So I'm going to hide the lower version. Then this one, I need to apply the subdivision. Okay, so apply the subdivision. So now we have something like this. Okay, so the shape looks good somehow. Okay, but we'll be sculpting it later, right? We need to have the back part of the horse, yung kanyang hair. So we're going to select the back part so that we can actually model in the hair. Okay, so select these parts and the bottom part, these faces. Let's do an inset. So do an inset. Okay, now if you can see, hindi sila pantay. So what we need to do now is okay, here somehow we need to work only on one side because it's going to cause us some problems. So on the front view ng horse, we're going to delete the half. So delete the vertices. Then I'm going to add a mirror modifier. Now if you can see, the mirror is not working right. So it's supposed to be working on the, instead of X, it needs to work on the Y. Okay, so Y dapat siya. So Y. Yan. Okay, turn off X para Y lang siya. We need to work on the model para at least half of the work would be done. Okay, so let's say GG to slide. Shift click the other one, GG to slide. Okay, click this, GG. Shift click, GG. Shift click, GG. Okay, so this one, GG to slide. So GG. Try and select this parts. GG. Okay. So let's select these parts. Okay. Then we are going to pull out the hair. Okay. But I think I've missed the top part. So I actually missed this part. May kulang siya. So what I need to do now here is do some fix up. Okay. So I'm going to dissolve this edge. Okay. Then this edge, dissolve. I need to select up until here, I think. Okay. So go to faces. So click this. Then let's do an inset also. So inset. Then boundary. Click on boundary instead of like that. Okay. Then from here, I'm going to fix my topology. So I'm going to delete this, dissolve this. Okay. Then I'm going to select this and this, GG to slide, because yung hair ng horse would be parang ano siya, parang straight yan eh. Okay, so GG. Okay. Then I'm going to faces and select this. So click this, then control, then click. Para dire-diretso yung selection. So click on the start. control click on the last part of the selection. All right. Then right click, extrude along normals, like so. Okay. Then we need to delete the faces here. So click this and shift, control click here, X, remove faces. Okay. So we need now to alt click the edges here. So alt click and alt click here. And we need to move it to, oops, alt click. We need to move this papunta sa center. Or, wait, I think it will be much better to extrude it, just straight extrude it. So say extrude faces. Yeah, mas okay siya. Extrude, ano na lang. Straight extrude faces. Okay? Extrude faces. Then, move the top part. Then, hide the mirror. Click here. Control click on the edge or the last selection. Then, faces. Okay? We need to have mirrors without any faces on the edge, on the boundary. Okay? We need to have completely no overlapping mesh. All right. Now we need to somehow fix some of the shape here because somehow it actually went out. So we could actually like bring it here. So G, select this G. Okay. Oops. This we need to pull out. Okay. So this and this. So let's bring it out like so. Bring it out. And this one, let's bring it somewhere around here. Follow the shape. Okay. So what we're doing is trying to follow the silhouette, the shape. Okay. We're following the shape of the reference. Okay. So this part needs to be pulled in. Okay. And this part needs to be brought here. This one needs to go here. This one needs to go here. This one will be here. This one will be here. Okay. Okay. Then we need to cut the mouth. So we need to have a cut on the mouth. Okay. So we need to select the faces somehow around here. So let's get this. Okay. Do an inset. So inset. Okay. Then we're going to now adjust the vertex based on the shape of the mouth. Okay. We can have the mouth a bit open para when we do the sculpting medyo we have more space. Okay. Okay, select. Okay, select. Okay. Then, since ano to, bukas siya, oops, we're going to, let's adjust the, this. Okay. Let's pull out the mouth kasi naipit siya. Okay. right? So faces, so select this faces. Okay, then extrude. Okay, so just extrude in so that we can have like a space for the teeth. Okay, then you can scale it if you want to. This disable your mirror, then adjust the overlap. So there's an overlap here, so we have to fix it. Okay, then we need to delete this face. Turn on your mirror. Okay, so you can have that. Then let's add another subdivision surface and try to see how it looks like. Okay. Okay, so turn off your subdivision. Then let's select the nose. So the nose would be somewhere around. Wait, let's see. So it's on the side. So we're going to select probably this nose and this one. Probably let's just select this and this. And this. Okay? Kasi yung ilong ng the horse's nose is from the side, front to side kasi siya. So front to side. So if it's front to side, then we need to do an inset. So I change this to boundary because I need to adjust this. So GG to slide. Then select this, click GG to slide, click GG to slide, GG to slide up, GG to slide up. So our reference is kind of not very accurate. So remember the top of the horse's nose is a bit flat. So what we need to do is somehow flatten. Ipa-flatten natin yung top ng horse. So what I would do is try and probably okay, let me just select this parts. Not that. So this. Select this, then pull it out. Kasi we need to flatten eh. So I'm going to straighten this to give it a flat, okay? To give it a flat appearance. Kasi yung mukha ng kabayo kasi talaga medyo flat siya. Hindi siya bilog. So it's a bit flat. Okay? Something like this. Ayan, flat siya. Okay? So you need to make it look flat somehow, like that. Okay? So this, so let's say G. Okay, let me just redo this. So I'll select the edges. So I could like redo this part. Okay. Dissolve edges yan. Okay, so let me just dissolve the edges. Okay. You just add another subdivision here. Okay. You see how it looks like. Okay. Sometimes the image kind of looks a bit parang confusing. So look at the image talaga, ha? So, somehow, pag ganun siya. Kasi nagpatong-patong na eh. Okay, so, this and this and this. Okay. So, let's select the part of the nose. So, this nose and this nose. Okay. Dapat kita din sa harap yung nose. Okay. So, inset. Let's do an inset. Then, select this. Slide it to the side. Okay. Then, select these faces. Then, extrude in. Like so. Okay. Then, adjust the extrusion. Okay. It needs to be still like that. Okay. Hindi yung parang lumubog siya. Okay. You have to fix this. Okay. Or else it will be very, very deep. So we need to adjust. Turn on your subdivision. Try to see how it looks like. Okay. Add another one. Okay. Okay, in sculpt mode, I'll be using a sculpt mode, okay? So, object mode, sculpt mode. I'm going to use the grab tool. So, this part seems to be looking flat. So, I'm going to use the grab tool. So, I'm going to grab it. So, G. Going to pull it out just a bit, little by little. I'm just using a mouse, okay? You don't have to worry. When you move polygons, using the sculpt mode actually is much better. It's, if you're using like this, the polygon like this, it's kind of really taking so much time. Instead of using the sculpt mode, when you pull out something, it actually pulls other parts. Okay, so I'll just adjust my strength. Okay, so grab. Let me see if the profile is still right. then save. Okay, don't forget to save. Okay. Um, to adjust some parts. Okay, the jaw area of a horse is somehow protruded, somehow like that. It's very like here. Um, what I'm thinking is I need to bring the shape in. So, let me see. Okay, if I have this shape, let me try to grab this. Actually, it's bad. It's a bad idea. No, don't. I'll just use Control R. Okay. Then I need to somehow dig in into the shape here. So slide, 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 GG to slide, GG to slide. Okay. Then bring this, so GG, GG. Follow the shape. Okay. Then the shape and this GG. Okay. I am going to bring this in because I need to push the shape of the jaw of the horse. Okay. So I'm going to push this in. Then this and this and this and this. Push it in. Okay. And this one, push it a bit. Then this one is GG. You see how the shape of the jaw, okay, how it actually shows. Okay, so we need to have that like very obvious. Kailangan mapakita natin yung shape ng jaw. Okay. So I'm going to sculpt mode, hold shift to relax. Okay. And use grab also. Okay. Then pull out some of the shape. We need to show the jaw. Okay. So hold shift just to relax. Okay. We can add another uh, edge loop. para magkaroon ng laman yung flesh nung face. Okay? Then go back to sculpting. Okay? Okay? Then soften the parts a bit. Okay? Let's select this GG to slide so that the distribution of the mesh is not too crowded on one side. Click, control, click, GG, click, control, click, then GG. Okay. So we need now the ear of the horse. So what we will be selecting is somewhere around here. Here. Okay, tapos here. Let's see our reference. Okay. Okay, so separate. So there's a space. So there's a space in the middle. So let's try and inset. So I to inset. Okay. Then select the edge. So GG. Okay. Select this. Okay. So say GG. Go to faces. Extrude up. Okay. Now we need to shape the ear. Okay. So wait. Let me try to put Control Shift S. No. Alt Shift S. Okay. So press Alt Shift S. So Alt Shift then S. It actually rounds the selection. Okay. Or if I use the loop tools and circle. Yeah, better. I think this is better. Okay. So you turn on the loop tools like this, huh? So edit, preferences, then add-ons. So you click on add-ons. Then look for loop tools. Then press this. Okay, check. Enable it. Then save preferences. Okay, look for mesh loop tools. Okay. So right click, loop tools, circle. So this is how it looks like. Okay. Then we can make it smaller. Let me try it again. So circle. Let's say flatten, not flatten. So not flattening. I need to keep the shape. Radius. Regular. Radius. I think this will be fine. So I disabled flatten and regular, but usually it's turned on. Okay, but this time I'll just turn it off. Okay, because I want to keep kasi yung shape. Right? Then extrude like this. Then adjust to the front. Okay, then rotate. Oops. Okay, go to the front like this. Look at the reference. Okay, it's like that. So, medyo ano siya. So, ayan. Okay. So, let's try to shape this. So, select this top. Let's just select the top parts. Okay. Then S, Z, then 0 to flatten it. Okay. Para mas madali siyang galawin. Okay. Then scale it. Okay. Let's try it, adjust. So say G, move it like C, this. So we need to slightly flatten this. So let's push it in like this. Okay. Push the ear. Select this and this. Bring it down a bit. Okay. Pull it out. Select this 3 and do it like this. But we need to somehow make the shape similar with each other. So somehow like that. Okay. This would require some sort of a lot of thinking and adjusting. Okay. So you need you need more time to actually go around this. Okay. This one, so GG. Bring it like this. This one in. Okay. Right? Control R. Then let's adjust the shape. Like this. So select this edge and like that. Okay, so I think the ear is quite small. So let me just bring it out. Okay, like this. I'll click this. Okay. But we're free to, you know, interpret. Pwede naman tayong hindi exact, not to really exactly copy the reference, so we can do that. Okay? So don't be afraid to not copy your reference because it's fine. Okay, then we just pull it out. This one, let's bring it out. Okay, so let's see how it looks like when it's turned on. Smooth. Okay, so we need to select this, inset. Okay, then extrude in a bit. Okay, then push, then turn on. Okay, so now we have the ear. Okay, so let me see if there's something wrong here. Okay, so far wala naman, wala pa naman. Let me just bring subdivision on top. Oops, no, down. Okay, I'm sorry I'm having an issue with that part. Clipping, let me just turn on clipping. Clip, ayan, there you go. Click, okay. Then save. So it looks like a horse now. Okay. Just need to adjust this shape. Adjust this. Adjust this. And this one also. Bit by bit. Okay. we probably need to adjust this in a bit. Yeah, there you go. Okay. If you think that the nose is too thin, just select the edge or the face. So select this face and this face. You could bring it down a bit, okay, para hindi siya masyadong manipis. Or you could just select this edge and pull it out. Okay. So you could adjust. Okay. The scary part here is the eyes. Really adding in the eyes. Okay. So after this, you turn off. So save this. Shift D. Okay. Then I need to keep a copy. So this is the what's this? Okay, this is night 2, night 2001. And I'm going to hide it. Okay. There you go. So let's add a sphere. So let's select the object. So cursor, Shift S, cursor to selected para pumunta siya dito. Okay. Then shift click. How do you do that? So right click. Shift right click. Okay. Shift right click so that it actually the cursor attaches on the face where you want to select it. So I'm going to add it somewhere around here. So shift click, shift right click here. Then add the sphere and make it as big as the reference. So okay. So S, something like that. Then we need to rotate this. So rotate on Y, 90 degrees. Yung point nung sphere needs to be pointing outward, like this. Okay? Then let's bring it in like so. Kaso nga pala, ang mata nga pala ng kabayo is ano, pag ganun pala. Their eyes is like looking palabas, pag ganun. So like that. Okay, so the eyes would be they can still see sa front pag ganyan. Let's bring it in. Okay. Then add your mirror. Click the eye drop, then click this. Oops. Okay, change it to Y. Okay. So something like this. Okay. All right. Now, if I am going to model around the eye, I would need to like select faces around here. so that I'll be able to cut a hole around the eye. Okay, so usually that is something that I would do. Okay, so let's see, inset. Okay, do an inset, right click, loophole, circle, turn on the say flatten and regular, then move it close to our eye. Okay, then press S to scale. Okay, all right, then the next thing we're going to do is try and shape the area. So while this is selected on faces, okay, so make it smaller, like somewhere around here, then inset again, do another set of inset, then extrude in. You need to cut a hole in. Okay, so let me turn off the eye. So it looks like this. So this is the eye. Nagulat yung ano. Okay. The horse was too stunned to speak. Okay, nagulat siya. Huh, huh. Okay. So from here, what I could do is use the sculpt tool and somehow move, okay, the parts. So F, then G. I'm going to try and shape the eye. So it's like I'm going to move the like um elastic. Oops, make it smaller. You need to go around the eye. Then push the eye like so, papasok. Kasi kailangan makakita sila sa harap. Okay, then bring it down. Use grab. Just hide the eye. You need to angle your screen so that you could actually push it onto the direction that you want. So bring it out slowly. Slowly. Then this out to wrap around. Okay. We need to wrap around the eye. Okay. We could use, say, pinch. Can pinch this. Okay, then draw. Strength. I'm trying to push this in. I'm not pushing anything because I don't have any polygons. Okay. So, I've been trying to push and pull, pero hindi nga pala naka-apply yung ano, yung yung mesh subdivision, sorry. Anyway, we just fix this. Okay. Let me fix it on the low poly area, on the low poly version. Okay. So grab. Don't forget, if you are working in a low poly, or let's say a low poly state with the subdivision turned on, we have to like fix this in um, with the subdivision turned off, so that we could actually see what's going on. Okay? Then we could turn it on later. Okay, so we have to fix this first. Right? So on the low poly, fix it. So if you can't pull something, hold shift. You can actually relax those areas. Okay. What we need to do is be able to surround the area with the area of the eye, the proper um, thickness around the eye. So hold shift to soften it, bring it out. Okay, something like that. Okay. So since I made a copy, I'm going to make another copy just to be safe. Okay, I'm going to make a copy again. So Shift D to make a copy. Then move it here. Then turn it off. Okay. Then I'm going to turn on my subdivision. Okay. But I think I need, let's say, Control R around here. Ako na mag-add around here. So I need to be able to control what I need to add. Okay. So I need to push this and this in para magkaroon siya ng parang eye bug. Pag ganyan. And I need to also have this pushed in. We need to push it in. Okay. And this, grab this, push it in. This one, okay. So something like this. Okay. Let me try and round this off. Kasi masyado siyang patusok. Okay, so knife. And like this. I need to somehow round this off para at least hindi siya masyadong stretched. Okay. So, let me just select this, dissolve this edge, dissolve this edge. Let's see. Click this, and this, and this. Dissolve this. So now we have a quad. Okay. I'll try to connect this to here. Okay. It's fine that we have sort of a triangle here kasi nasa tenga lang naman siya. So, it's fine. Okay. What I need is to have control over the topology kasi masyado siyang stretched. Okay. So, this, let's say if it's somewhere around here, let's see if I can fix this. Okay. So select this edge, dissolve, and this edge, dissolve. GG to slide. Okay. Yung 5, I think it would be okay. If I'm going to like really force it to be a quad, I would run an edge loop somewhere around here. Then I'll connect this one to this. Para maging ano siya, quad. Okay? Something like that. Then I need to go back to sculpt mode, soften. Okay, let me show you wireframe. Okay, I need to use the smooth brush to soften the polygons kasi masyadong dikit-dikit. Okay, I can use the grab tool also. Okay, I turned on the wireframe so I could actually see the wires that I'm actually pushing and pulling. So, tap-tap lang dun sa ano ha, sa wireframe. Sa smooth. Huwag niyong isasagad kasi masisira yung shape. Okay, so something like this. Oops, I need to keep that shape. And this one, pull it out. Okay, so it's in here. So ito. In the overlay, so you have this. Okay, so sometimes it's good to have it turned on. Okay, so turn on the subdivision. Let's go to object mode. Okay, I think this would do. I just need to probably like rotate the eye siguro. Select this, bevel it, so Control B, then extrude in. Para pag nilagyan ko siya ng subdivision surface, ayan, parang meron siyang eye talaga. Okay. Move. Wait, masyado malalim. So, extrude a little. Konti lang. extrude just a bit. Then add a subdivision surface. There you go. Okay. Then if you're parang feeling niya parang ang soft nung around this area, will you want to sharpen it? You need to bevel it. So Control B to bevel. Then add the subdivision, turn on. So you see, it sharpens. Okay, so nasa sharpen siya. Okay. Then you could actually select this and this. GG. Oops. Let's just select it one by one. So GG. Oops. GG. Okay. There you go. Okay. But if you want a particular area to soften, okay, so this would be like, you need to GG this, or this one, so GG. To slide it para mag-soften yung edge. See that? Nag-soften siya ng konti. Okay. Then this, I need to like adjust, make it pointy. Like these are some of the nuances na lang if you look at it. Okay. Right click, shade smooth. Select the eye, shade smooth. Okay. Alright. So this is now the horse. Okay. Then if we try to add another subdivision, tapos you would want to sculpt certain details, then you would need to duplicate this again. Okay. So I would duplicate this, including the eye. Okay, so this, and select the eye. Okay, so Shift D to duplicate. I'll put it on a separate group, so M. Tapos night. Okay, then click. Okay. So I have now a night group. I'll turn it on. Okay. Then if I'm going to sculpt in some of the details, okay, then I need to turn on the subdivision. Okay. So I apologize for taking too long kasi medyo ano talaga siya. Medyo matagal talaga. Okay? So it's a bit daunting somehow. Okay? So you will be, you can take your time. Okay? Yung palang eyelid nung ano dito. So let me just change this to image editor and select the horse reference. Okay. So the eyelid is close. So we need to parang have this pala. This and this. So GG to slide. Oops, sama natin to. GG to slide. Okay, then this and this and this. Okay, GG to slide. Okay. Turn on. Okay. Tapos we need to add another one para we can push this out. Itong shape na to, we need to push this out. Okay. Ayun. Okay. Let's try to slide this. Slide this again, then slide this one somehow again. This one, I'll slide out. Wait, this, I'll slide it out. This one, so slide. Select this one, vert, and slide. Okay. Ang taray, no? Taas ang kilay. Medyo mataas kilay niya. Okay. Ang taray, oh. Adjust natin ang taray kasi. Let's select this. Let's bring it down a bit. Then this one. Okay. And this one. It also has this part that we need to push out. I think I need to push this out. Push out. This part we need to like do some sort of rerouting. Magre-retopologize tayo para dito if ever. Pero I think this will be enough. Okay na siguro to. Okay? So use the sculpting tool to make adjustments on bigger parts. Okay? So on the sculpt part, let's say I want this to be like mas mataba siya, so I'll use inflate. So inflate this. Turn on your wireframe para makita niyo siya. Okay. So F to inflate, then G to grab. Okay. So inflate again. So I to inflate. I want it to be parang mas makapal. Okay. Then you can soften. Oops. This area a bit. Okay. Ayan. Then this eye area. So I think this. So grab this. Turn it off. Grab this area. Then turn it on. Okay. So if we're going to add details to this, like sculpt in this parts, this part, and this part, and this part, and this part, we would need to apply the polygons around this. Tapos if we're going to draw the hair, so we could use that with adding more into our model. But for now, this would do. Okay. So I know this is quite daunting, but this is the stuff that you would actually need to learn to do in order for you to create characters that you want to make, especially if you plan on let's say creating characters. Okay. So let's see. If you want to make anime stuff, let's say anime girls, let me just show you how it actually looks like. Okay. So let's see. This. Okay. What I added was a cube, not a cylinder. It's a cube. Okay. I was using a cube. So look at that face. Look at her face. Okay. Now look at her wireframe. There you go. Me. Okay. So it's quite a lot. But you'll learn it eventually. Okay. So this is usually used for Vroid. If you're doing or if you're using VR chats, sorry, VR chat models. Yan. So, see? Okay. So, these are stuff that we are going to slowly work on in order for you to create something like this. Okay. There you go. Shading is kind of hard for 3D anime. So, it will take time, and painting will also take time. So, you have to bear with the situation that we have. So, we'll move slowly but surely. Okay? At least, what is it? Ano yung sabi ni Ray? Sa Ive. Ano yung sabi ni Ive? Sa ano? Ive Ray quote. Ano yung sabi niya? If you know. I will, ano yan? I will move slow but never. Does anybody know yung quote na yun? Lagi sinasabi ni, ano yun eh, ni Ive. She will, ni Ray sa, Ive, na she will move slow but never turn back. Yun yung sinasabi niya, parang ganun. Okay? So, yun. O, diba? So, I think that would be for now kasi 6:30. Tama, no? 6:30 naman. Okay? Actually, I'm your typical K-pop tito. Okay? But I listen to many music. So, I'm more of a rock and metal musician. But I like all types of music. People are not listening to K-pop back in 2009. But I was already listening to K-pop and J-pop and J-rock. So, people were hating K-pop back then, but I was already listening. But I'm not actually letting people know that I was listening to K-pop. So, yeah, I listen to a lot of things. So, primarily, um, Japanese music, K-pop, jazz, avant-garde stuff. So, it's quite a lot. Okay. Yeah, I've Eunice. Then you have originally like 21, Girls' Generation. Yeah, the older ones. Rap, um, yung rap side ko is more on the rock, Rage Against the Machines, Eminem, the older 90s stuff na rap. Yeah, yung mga luma. More of the old school rap. I hate mumble rap. Yun yung I really don't like. New metal, yes, of course, new metal. Grunge, yan.